Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Morning to you, one and all. Welcome to today. You know, I absolutely love to hear my godson Michael sing that opening theme. He is brilliant at it indeed. So just to hear his little angelic voice sing good morning to you indeed. Good morning to all of you. Welcome to today, Tuesday, the 12th of May, 2026. I'm Pearson Bowen, welcoming all of you online on our YouTube and our website cbc.bb as well. Thank you for joining our streams. Share the show, share the love, and find us right there. That's where we are today on YouTube and cbc.bb indeed. And of course, I encourage you always to tell us about what you think we need to talk about. If you have an idea or if you know of someone who has a story to tell and you know exactly how to find them, let us help you tell that story by sending us an email. The email address is right there. It is morninbarbados@cbc.bb. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. We will follow up. You better believe it, and we thank you already for sharing many leads into what we want to do. Today, Tuesday, is the day or the night of the Dean's Lecture in the Grand Salle of the Central Bank of Barbados. That starts at 7, and we want to encourage you to come hear Dr. Henderson Carter as he delivers on the movers and shakers throughout time who have made a difference to Methodism and faith. Also, tomorrow, we're inviting every one of you to the Bethel Methodist Church at 7 o'clock, when we will hear from Doctor, I'm already giving him his title, David Comishon, Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM. He speaks on John Wesley's view on slavery, and it's really going to give us a sense of the Methodist Church view on slavery and call for reparations. So we really want to hear about that as well. It starts at 7. I encourage you to get there really early to get your seat. It's going to be a riveting lecture. I really want to encourage as many of you as possible to come and hear, not just for Methodists, it's for all people from everywhere. So it's at Bethel Methodist Church tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock. The church will be open bright and early, so you can find your spot and your favorite seat and listen and learn a whole lot more from Ambassador Comishon. Now, coming up today, Tuesday, we'll be having our conversations on CARICOM in just a little while. We'll be looking at some positive recent developments in CARICOM. There's a lot we still can celebrate today. We'll be sitting with the NISSS, the National Insurance Social Services. And so we want to hear about what is it and why is it important for a self-employed person to be registered? And they'll talk to us a little bit about that in just a moment as well. The benefits of partnership with Sick Kids Toronto with the QEH is what we're looking at as they set about providing opportunity for diagnosis and treatment of children's cancers. We'll talk to the QEH and the folks from the QEH in just a little while. We'll also meet someone who has lived the life as a cancer patient. It's Female Founders Month, and so we want to look at a decade of recognition for female founders. Who are they, and why is this organization so focused on celebrating our female founders? We underscore the importance this morning of plant health when we meet with the Ministry of Agriculture. There's a lot we do wrong, and so when we do it right, it protects our livelihood, it protects everything in Barbados. So they want to remind us as to why we need to pay closer attention to the little loopholes we seek to slip through, and why it is important also that we focus on plant health. And we meet the medicine man who is creating beats. Who is he? You definitely have to stick around to find out. So we'll take a break right here. When we come back, we're diving straight into our conversations on CARICOM.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We the best music.
Are you ready to turn it all the way up? We make you feel good. Your #1 party station. Non-stop hits and the latest trends in music, fashion, and everything lit. Hit us up on socials at 981 Barbados on IG and 98.1 The One on Facebook. This is your world, your playlist, your station. 98.1 The One.
open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Every Tuesday morning, we spend time with Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Comishon. We want to look in our conversations on CARICOM at what's happening in CARICOM. Many times, many of you say you don't know what's going on, but this is a segment that surely puts you in touch with what's happening in CARICOM as we hear from our Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Comishon. Ambassador, good morning to you.
Morning, Pearson.
There is a lot, truly a lot happening recently and still to come in CARICOM. What's the latest?
Well, I'd like to share some of the top items on the CARICOM agenda right now. And I do so within the context of us having had a heads of government, a virtual intersessional heads of government conference that started last week, Friday. It hasn't completed. The heads, they went into caucus and then they adjourned. So it's going to continue. But also next week, we are going to Suriname for a meeting of the Council of Foreign Ministers. We call that the COFCO, Council for Foreign and Community Relations. So I'd just like to give a basic outline of some of the critical issues. And I guess the first one I would like to start with is a very positive one. It's the expansion of CARICOM. There are several territories applying for membership of CARICOM. You know, you have full members and then you have associate members. The last associate member to come on board is Martinique. They were given permission to become an associate member, but we were waiting on the French Parliament, the French government, to approve the protocol on privileges and immunities. So those are the privileges that Martinique has to extend to officers of the CARICOM Secretariat. So that was approved not only for Martinique, but for all other French
speaking territories.
Non-independent territories. So Martinique has now finally come on board. But in addition to Martinique, French Guyana has applied for associate membership. Aruba has applied for associate membership. And the Dominican Republic has applied for associate membership of CARICOM. And then there are two associate members, already associate members, who are applying for full membership, and that's the British Virgin Islands and the Turks and Caicos Islands. So just to make the point that CARICOM is still proving to be a very, very attractive organization for many of our Caribbean territories. And then I would say that some of the other issues, well, Haiti. Haiti continues to be a great cause of concern. And both the heads of government and the foreign ministers are expected to get an update on the current happenings where Haiti is concerned. You know, the transition from the Kenyan security mission that was in Haiti that has been phased out, and now we have something called the Gang Suppression Force. And so the Kenyans have gone home, but new personnel are coming in from Chad and from El Salvador and from several other countries. So we want to hear about that. We are concerned about the move towards elections in Haiti by the end of this year, before the end of this year. And then there's Cuba. And I'd like to share with Barbadians that, you know, CARICOM is making an effort to respond to the humanitarian situation in Cuba. I can inform Barbadians that the government of Barbados has contributed $500,000. And so we made a contribution through the CARICOM Secretariat. And the whole idea is the CARICOM Secretariat will coordinate the purchase of items in Mexico to be sent on from Mexico to Cuba. So we are now anxiously awaiting word from the CARICOM Secretariat when the items purchased by the Barbadian funds will actually arrive in Cuba. I would actually like to visit Cuba, but I want to visit after those goods arrive. And then there's we're also looking at reform within CARICOM. So, for example, I currently sit on two committees, two CARICOM committees. One committee is looking at the institutions of CARICOM. How do we rationalize them? You know, ideas for improved service, for example. And I'm also on another committee that is looking at the rules and regulations of the meetings of our heads of government. Are they fit for purpose? Can we improve them? And then there's another prime ministerial committee that is looking at issues of governance of CARICOM itself and finance of CARICOM. Geopolitical developments, the foreign policy coordination, how do we deal with all the current challenges? And we know those very well. Bilateral relations, we're looking at our relations with Canada, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, the UK, Austria, Mexico. Multilateral relations, our relationship with the African Union and how beautiful that we are building out that relationship with Africa. And we're also looking at the Commonwealth because we are going to host the Commonwealth heads of government in the Caribbean in November in Antigua. So I would say that those are some of the current issues. And I should also mention one issue that is perennial, the current border disputes.
Yes.
The Belize, Guatemala, Honduras border dispute, and of course the Venezuela, Guyana border dispute. And just yesterday we had the completion of that case, Guyana, Venezuela, at the International Court of Justice.
So we're just awaiting now the outcome of that particular case.
Yes. Both sides presented all of their legal arguments. Venezuela did its final response to Guyana yesterday. In fact, the acting president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, she addressed the court yesterday. So all of the legal submissions have been completed, and it's now for the 15-member panel, a panel of 15 judges of the International Court of Justice. They will deliberate, and they will, in due course, render their decision.
From experience, any sense of how long that judgment could come? How long we'd have to wait on that judgment?
I really don't know, but what I can tell you, in following the submissions, you know, it was quite an involved legal matter because both sides went into virtually every aspect of this border dispute, ranging from the time of the Spanish conquest of South America, the original Spanish claims to the territory. Then, of course, the Dutch came into the picture. It was the Dutch who colonized those areas of South America that became Berbice, Demerara, Essequibo, and then the British acquired those territories from the Dutch. So all that historical data about who acquired what and when and how, and then we heard the story about Robert Schomburg, who has a connection with both Guyana and Barbados. Robert Schomburg, this Anglo-German explorer that the British government contracted to explore their new colony of Guyana and to demarcate its western border, which became the big area of contention. And I say he has a connection with Barbados as well, because having done that service of exploring that Essequibo region and creating the border line, which became the area of dispute. He then subsequently came to live in Barbados, and he spent some time in Barbados in the 1840s and produced perhaps the most famous history book on Barbados, a massive 700-page 19th century history of Barbados. But anyhow, so Guyana is hoping, and they have applied to the court, they're asking the court to confirm that the arbitral award of 1899, remember they had that arbitration tribunal that basically said that the land belonged to British Guyana, to the British Empire, the Essequibo region, that the court will confirm that that is in fact legally correct. Venezuela, on the other hand, is saying to the court, this matter cannot be determined by a judicial proceeding, that the Geneva Agreement that Britain and Venezuela agreed upon in 1966 when Guyana was about to become independent, they're saying that that is the agreement that should govern how this dispute is settled, and the court should order that the parties should go back to negotiation and negotiate a settlement between themselves. So we are waiting with bated breath to hear whether the court goes with Guyana and says no, this has been settled, and these are the correct boundaries, or the court goes with Venezuela and says you have to go back to a process of negotiation and settlement between yourselves.
So there's a lot to look forward to in CARICOM indeed. And so, Ambassador, I know you're traveling shortly.
Yes.
Yeah,
well,
for the foreign ministers meeting.
Yes, but even before the foreign ministers meeting, I have that important duty to perform tomorrow in Barbados. And I want to join you by inviting all of our viewers. Well, if you can make it down to Bethel Church, please, I'd love to see you there. 7 o'clock. Those who can't make it, I think there will be a live stream. You could actually listen. But I think the topic is very, very important. Certainly, first of all, not just for Methodists, for all people of faith, because that Wesley document is a towering milestone for all people of faith. But even beyond that, the implications for the contemporary reparations movement. We'll discuss all of that
tomorrow. For sure. Indeed. Tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock at Bethel Methodist Church, right there on Bay Street. In the corner, that church is waiting to receive you, indeed, as Ambassador Commission delivers that lecture tomorrow. It's a very important lecture not to be missed. Ambassador, as always, thank you so much for joining us. You're welcome. That concludes today's Conversations on CARICOM. Morning Barbados comes back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. and together we will travel the world.
This is where Barbadian football lives. Every Monday from 8:03 p.m., step onto the touchline. A 30-minute show featuring the BFA Premier League. Join Anmar Goodrich Boyce and Damien Best as they review the action. The goals, the grit, the glory, and the stories shaping the league. From kickoff to the final whistle, this is your front row seat to Monday Night Football. Touchline, bringing you closer to the BFA Premier League. See you on the touchline, live on TV8.
Touchline, sponsored by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after. And Powerade. Pause is power.
Preserve your personal priceless memories.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 21 past the hour. Let's look at the self-employed now. Many of you do a thing, and you figure in doing a thing, one, you're either escaping the eyes of the NISSS, or you're just doing it because you want to supplement. And that's fair. That's okay. We understand that because it's our natural lived experience. But when you don't register, what are the consequences? What happens? What should you be mindful of as it relates to being self-employed so you protect your future? After all, the NIS is our lifeline. And so joining us this morning, who is a project manager with the NISSS Self-Employed Unit, shortened for SEW, indeed, is Alethea Thomas. Alethea, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson.
Good to have you.
It's good to be here.
And you brought along a couple of your colleagues with you in Natasha Walton, who is an officer, Officer 3,
yes, please.
and Daniel Lubrin, who is the National Insurance Field Officer. And there's a difference between the two.
Yes, there is.
Welcome to both of you as well.
Thank you.
Alethea, let's start with you. The unit was designed for a purpose.
Yes.
What's the purpose?
Okay, first of all, the self-employed unit was established on Monday, 17th of March last year. So we would have reached our year, well, March.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And we've done so much within that time. The unit was established as a dedicated space to cater to the needs of the self-employed persons in the event they have any queries regarding their entitlement to benefits, and basically for us to explain to them the new flexible arrangement that we have for self-employed persons.
For a long time, we never thought self-employed people ought to register. So this sat under the radar, so to speak. And then you ask yourself, well, who are these self-employed people? Is it simply the woman who sells popcorn on the side of the road, or the person who fried pork every Friday night? Who are self-employed people?
Well, a self-employed person is basically a person who works for themselves and not in an official contract of service with an employer. So examples of self-employed persons are tradespersons, you have estheticians, we have persons from the creative sector as well, independent consultants. And they derive their income from the person or persons for whom they provide the service. Now, one new feature under our legislation is that even if a person is working as an employee and they have a side hustle, Pearson, they can also contribute to their contribution pool to have a higher earnings so that they would have a higher paying benefit.
The side hustle.
Yeah,
that works.
side
After all, the side. But you use the term contract of service,
yes,
and that's a deliberate term that you
yes,
use,
yes,
as opposed to contract for services. What's the distinction?
The contract of service is where you are employed under a contract with an employer, and you have specific terms and conditions within your contract. And a contract for service is where you're a self-employed person and you're providing a specific service for a specific individual or company.
But people today are so flexible with the way they work. You know, you can have contract of services for
yes,
8 to 4,
yes,
and then 5 to 9, for instance, you do your own contract for services as well. And you're saying that ought also to be captured as a self-employed person to increase your earning potential,
yes,
therefore increasing your benefits.
Yes. Previously, before the new legislative changes, self-employed persons or employees could not register as an employee and a self-employed person now. But let me just give it some context, Pearson. Prior to the new legislation, we had a very fixed, rigorous schedule. You pay your contributions quarterly. So, for example, April, May, June were contributions were due by July 15th. July to September contributions were due by September 15th, and so on. And they told us in a, in an interview, and we had some sessions with self-employed persons, and they said to us, this does not work for us. We are hustlers. Time is money for us. And therefore, we have a flexible arrangement where contributions, for example, for 2026 are due by January 15th, 2027, and 2027 contributions are due by January 15th, 2028, and so on. So self-employed persons have now a year, basically, and 15 days to make their contribution payments. And it's not just about the flexibility of payment, but it's about the flexibility of doing business with the NIS. We understand that there's also seasonal work, right? And we understand the difficulty with the variability of income, because unlike employees, they have a salary. But if self-employed persons don't work, they're not paid. So therefore, that flexibility allows them the opportunity to have contributions spread equally throughout the year. So when they pay their contributions, those contributions are converted to earnings, and they're equally spread throughout the year, as opposed to one specific quarter. Right. And this works very well, and that's why it's important for self-employed people to understand the importance of the safety net and the importance of social coverage and social protection.
Natasha, how do I determine how much is my contribution to be, since it's variable? I don't know how much I'll earn any particular quarter.
Well, now that we have a flexible arrangement, you can come in and you pay on what you earn. It's not that you come in and pay a set amount. So you can make, say, for instance, $1,200, but you have all other different expenses to undertake. But you're going to contribute what you can afford at this point in time.
So my overall contributions for the year, I can set this off against an average. So I can say within a year, for instance, whether it's seasonal or otherwise, I earn about $20,000. And therefore, my average earning potential, the amount I pay, my contribution should be set on that average, even if I might go beyond.
Can I take that question?
Yes.
Yes, I would like to take that question.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
She's excited about this question.
Yes, she is.
Yes, because we're doing so much, but we're going to go into that shortly. So in terms of the contributions, the legislation speaks to a minimum and a maximum.
Right.
Our maximum contributions is $11,095.20 for 2026. The minimum is 1,200 contributions, and this is for the year. So within that range, as Natasha was saying, you, based on your income, based on your earnings and what you can afford, you have that flexibility of paying in between that range. But we always advise persons, do not stick to the minimum, because once you pay minimum, you get back the minimum in pension, in benefits, and so on. So it is something that we are working with self-employed persons, especially at the unit. And let me say, before I forget, we are located on the first floor of Radley Court, Pearson. So it's a very simple location. It's close to the NASSS.
Yes.
So once you come down from People's Cathedral, you make that right turn into the Radley Court complex, and we're on the first floor.
I got you. Oh, that executive-looking building inside there.
Yes,
I get you.
Yes.
All right, so that's where one can go, and it's important to register. What are you seeing in terms of registration, Natasha? In terms of people really do coming in and saying, "I am a self-employed person. Guide me through the process of registration."
Okay. To register with us, you can go on our website, which is www.nis.gov.bb. Or like Alethea said, you can come into our office where you can sit down with someone like Mr. Lubrin, and he would guide you through the steps of registering. It's very simple. Once you go on the website, it is self-explanatory. You start off with your name, your address. You go with your basic information, national insurance number, ID number, and you fill all the relevant information. Very simple and concise. And let me say, you do not have to pay to register. It's all free.
Registration is free.
Yes,
registration,
it is.
The benefits are tremendous indeed. I keep saying your membership or registration always brings benefit. And so I don't have to walk with my bank statement to show you how much I've been earning. Nothing like that.
No, you don't.
At all.
No, you don't.
But I must be able to you would help me with the category of employment as well?
Yes, we will.
All right, good. As a field officer, though, what do you do?
Essentially, what I do from my day to day, if we're in office, we either assist persons with registration, as Natasha would have mentioned, or we go through the engagement reports, ensure that everything that we would have done previously for the week before into this week, we accountate for ourselves so that when they do their background checks, they know exactly what we would have done to ensure that everything falls aligned. On the road now, we are set in like certain areas or locations to work, and we go to vendors, we go to shops, we go to persons who are self-employed, and for the most part, we try our best to assist them where they may not be knowledgeable and allow them to understand what we as National Insurance has to offer for them. We often find that a lot of persons have misconceptions about what NAS actually have for self-employed persons. So then that's where we fall in to help them to understand and to be guided and directed as to the benefits that we have and how they could go about making contributions, go about making payments, so that they too can be secured by National Insurance.
And not to be afraid of you when you show up with your National Insurance field officer shirt. To think, I'm going to duck and hide. You're not coming to catch you. You're coming to inform them as well. And that's because you want to give them support, to give them a brighter future. Because it's important to make your contribution, ladies and gentlemen. It's really important because the contributions really do bring benefits. And I know a lot of this, Alethea, is going to be part of an initiative you're starting shortly in terms of going into the community. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Just before I go into that, I just want to reiterate that in terms of registration, self-employed persons are entitled to sickness benefit, their sickness benefit, maternity benefit, invalidity, survivors, old age, contributory pension. And the reason why I emphasize this is because, as Daniel said, there are a lot of misconceptions of what we offer to self-employed persons, and therefore that is part of our awareness, that's part of our education to these self-employed persons. And the marketing campaign starts today. We are here on Mornin Barbados with you.
What a great place to start.
Yes. So we are going to be hosting our self-employed and secure campaign. We are having a road show on Friday, and that's heading to, we're going to Spikestone. We're going to start in Spikestone with an official launch, and the feature address will be delivered by the Minister of Labour, Social Security and the Third Sector, the Most Honorable Colin Jordan, who will update the Barbadian public about the coverage for self-employed persons and where we are at. Now, part of that includes setting up our office, because one principle that we stand by, Pearson, is meeting self-employed persons where they are. We understand that it's a hustle mentality, time is money, and therefore they move around a lot. So the expectation of coming into the office and waiting in a line, I mean, we still have that service there, but we are more flexible. We have field officers whom we can assign to you. We have our self-employed unit email address, and we have a dedicated space. So with that, at the event in Spikestone, we are going to be situated on the Spikestone Esplanade stage, where we will have a nice conference, press conference, and the bus will leave and go to Mile and a Quarter and Six Men's, and we will have our office set up there with the access to the internet, so persons within the community can come and visit us. Not just the community, but if you're hearing us right now, come to Spikestone Esplanade on Friday morning. We start around 10, and the featured address will be presented around 10:45. And this is the start of many things to come. We have really good partnerships with several stakeholders. For example, BARNUFO, the Barbados National Union of Fisher-Folk Organization. We've done tremendous work so far within the fishing industry. We've collaborated with the University of the West Indies, the Aruba Center for Creative Imagination, BCSI. We've done collaborative efforts with the National Financial Literacy Program, and one of the things we're so proud of that we're going to be doing shortly would be the collaboration with the Community Development Department, Pearson, where in June or July we will be going into community centers, we will be going into churches, because we need to let self-employed persons know you need to secure your safety net. It is important. And you know, if you don't understand the terms of safety net and social coverage, investment, invest in yourself, because regrettably, since the unit has been established, we've had persons who would have presented themselves to us at pensionable age person, and my colleagues could tell you they don't qualify for a pension and they don't know what they're going to do. So it's a real sad situation. So it is incumbent upon us as an organization, of course, and as a unit, to sensitize, to educate persons and let them know, invest in yourself, pay your contributions. We are here to help you. So it's a holistic approach. where we are meeting persons where they are. So we're really looking forward to the launch this coming Friday morning in Spicetown.
In the Esplanade, around 10 or so, you should begin to have your space. But they've brought their office to you.
Yes.
And so all self-employed in the Spicetown area, the St. Peter at large, or even the northern parishes, perhaps this is your opportunity rather than have to come all the way down to Bishop's Court.
Yeah.
You already, Colonial Road. You come to Spicetown Esplanade on Friday and you do your business, make your registration right. Indeed. And I want to encourage, because in the business that we're in, lots more people are going into the space of contract force services.
Yes.
And so we need also to take this quite seriously. Business is reshaping in Barbados.
Yes.
And so as you're more and more becoming your own employer, it's important that you secure your future by being a part of the effort that we're talking about here this morning as a self-employed person. So get out there on Friday. And I know this, as you said, it's the first of a whole series of campaigns across the island. So we're looking forward to your showing up, folks, to really take this quite seriously indeed. And so whether you are in the office providing the service, and we want to encourage you, if you have questions, you can also call the office at any time. Tell us how to do so.
You can reach us at 431-7400. Our extensions in the self-employed unit, you can reach us at 2801 straight through to 2803.
Wonderful. And if you see Daniel on the road, don't hide from Daniel. Daniel's coming to hold your hand to help you. And that's what the NISSS does. You hold the hand to provide the safety net. And so don't sit in fear, don't sit in wonder. Just show up on Friday in Spicetown, northern parishes. If you're in Spicetown, perhaps it's your opportunity to sit and get to know more before you head back to your other office and make some more work. You can do this online as well.
Yes,
all of this is available to you. Don't dilly-dally, because if you don't, when moments come and you want the help, it's not there.
Correct.
And who should one blame but oneself?
Correct.
And so you get all the benefits that me as an employed person would get, sickness benefits, paternity benefits, maternity benefits, all of those benefits will accrue to you simply by your registration, and you're paying, and there's a flexible payment opportunity now for you. Get to know more. Come ask your questions on Friday. Call or email and ask your questions. Anytime you see a member of the self-employed unit, SEUs, ask them a question. They will guide you. That's what they're there to provide, indeed. A safety net. Simple Simon met the pieman. Alethea, Natasha, and Daniel, thank you. Thank you too for the service.
So much.
You're young and you're energetic and you're informed, and so we're happy and we're excited by what you are doing for us self-employed people in Barbados. So thank you so much.
We call ourselves ambassadors for self-employed persons.
Thank you for taking up the ambassadorship. Thank you all indeed. Morning Barbados breaks right here. We're coming back in a minute.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Preserve your personal priceless memories. Here at CBC, we transfer VHS, DVDs, Beta, U-matic, and DV cam tapes to modern digital formats. Safely, quickly, and affordably. Call CBC on 467-5437 to get started. In just 2 weeks, your memories will be ready to relive and share again.
Are you ready to turn it all the way up? We make you feel good. Your #1 party station. Non-stop hits and the latest trends in music, fashion, and everything lit. Hit us up on socials at 981 Barbados on IG and 98.1 The One on Facebook. This is your world, your playlist, your station. 98.1 The One.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
This is where Barbadian football lives. Every Monday from 8:03 p.m., step onto the touchline. A 30-minute show featuring the BFA Premier League. Join Anmar Goodrich Boyce and Damien Best as they review the action, the goals, the grit, the glory, and the stories shaping the league. From kickoff to the final whistle, this is your front row seat to Monday Night Football. Touchline, bringing you closer to the BFA Premier League. See you on the touchline, live on TV8.
Touchline, sponsored by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after. And Powerade. Pause is power.
Preserve your personal priceless memories. Here at CBC, we transfer VHS, DVDs, Beta, U-matic, and DV cam tapes to modern digital formats. Safely, quickly, and affordably.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Nothing hurts an adult, nothing hurts a parent more than to hear our child has been diagnosed with cancer. Nothing hurts a parent, nothing hurts an adult more than hearing what's that diagnosis and what is I feel this. I really do feel this because more and more children are showing with cancer. What is happening at our hospital, you ask? And so we get some insight on what's happening at our hospital now as we're joined by Dr. Shanta Brown-Farmer, who is consultant pediatrician and a hematologist oncologist at the QEH, and she's doing phenomenal work there, her team. And we meet this morning a survivor of acute lymphoblastic leukemia herself in Shalana David. Both of you, good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
What's going on in cancer treatment in Barbados, Dr. Farmer Brown?
Well, thank you for having us, Pearson. It is Child Month, and commonly in Child Month we discuss matters related to children. Child health is one of those areas, and specifically pediatric cancer. It's an area that tends not to be discussed much at all. Many persons, I think, still believe that children cannot get cancer and until maybe a diagnosis comes close to home. And so it's really to make people aware that children do get cancer, but pediatric cancer is actually more receptive to treatment than adult cancer.
Really? Why?
And so generally the outcomes are better.
Why is it more receptive?
So it has a lot to do with the nature of the disease. Adult cancers tend to be caused by environmental exposures and poor health habits over time, whereas pediatric cancers tend to be a lot more random events, and maybe even sometimes there is an underlying genetic basis, which over time we have had lots of advances in the therapies that we're able to offer to deal with that. And children in general are just far more resilient in terms of being able to train their cells, if you will, to be able to behave a little bit better.
And as with regular people, there are different forms of cancer. Generally, is there a trend that you're noticing of cancer in pediatric cancer in Barbados?
Well, in general, pediatric cancer is rare, and it is the same here in Barbados. So we see about 10 cases of new diagnoses of cancer every year here in Barbados. Globally, the most common form of pediatric cancer is acute leukemia, and with acute leukemia, the most common type of leukemia is acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and that form of leukemia actually responds very well to therapy. That is the state internationally, and it is also the state here, so we have quite a bit of success. Other cancers include things like brain tumors. We see solid organ tumors like liver and kidney as well, mostly in smaller children. We can also see bone tumors sometimes in older children, and we also see a lot of lymphomas. Those span over a wide range from small all the way up to children like Shalana's age 18. And a lot of our lymphomas also do quite well. Hodgkin's lymphoma, for example, is a good actor, if you will. We have high rates of survival as it relates to that.
And then we scratch our heads as to treatment options. Let's talk from the hospital's perspective, the QH's hospital perspective, as to what treatment options are available so that you comfort us in knowing that we can be treated here, our little ones.
Yeah, so we have been fortunate in Barbados to have access to pediatric oncology specialists for about 30 years here on the island. So there's always been at least one. Right now there are two, and that may not necessarily be the case for other islands within the region, but it has definitely been the case for us. So we have had pediatric oncology specialist-led care for several decades, which has allowed us to keep pace with several of the advances in oncology treatments and make sure that we can deliver them here on the island. And then in 2013, we would have had a collaboration with the Hospital for Sick Children and 5 other Caribbean islands, including Jamaica, Trinidad, Bahamas, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent, with the Hospital for Sick Children, as I mentioned, to essentially enhance further our capacity to be able to care for patients with pediatric cancer here in Barbados.
What does that collaboration bring?
Yeah, so what that has done over the years is allow us access to be able to train our physicians. So we have more than doubled the number of regional pediatric oncologists through that collaboration. We have also trained a cadre of pediatric oncology nurses scattered throughout the region, and so we have some of those nurses here in Barbados who obviously form a core part of our team in terms of administering therapy to children. We have immediate access to advanced laboratory diagnostics for definitive diagnosis of cancer, including markers that may help us to target therapy as well. And then we have access to a community of physicians, both regionally and internationally, where we can have case conferences on difficult cases, review radiology images for patients, and this is something that exists in other institutions where cancer is managed. You have the ability to have a group discussion, and so we have that ability as well. A big group, everybody is sharing ideas about the particular case or cancer that we're looking at and coming up with a well-tuned plan for treatment of cancer.
That's the care and the compassion that Barbados has for its children, the care and compassion that the Queen Elizabeth Hospital has for its children as well. And so with the upskilling through that partnership and collaboration, indeed, much has been achieved. And so we want you to feel a lot more comfortable this morning knowing that at the diagnosis, that we do have a cadre of professionals here who have access to other experts from across the world, but we also have the skill sets here to be able to manage the treatment of those respective cancers in our children indeed. But what happens next? What happened to little Shalana and how is she managing as a survivor? We'll talk to her right after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Preserve your personal priceless memories. Here at CBC, we transfer VHS, DVDs, Beta, U-matic, and DV cam tapes to modern digital formats. Safely, quickly, and affordably. Call CBC on 467-5437 to get started. In just 2 weeks, your memories will be ready to relive and share again.
Are you ready to turn it all the way up? We make you feel good. Your #1 party station. Non-stop hits and the latest trends in music, fashion, and everything lit. Hit us up on socials at 981 Barbados on IG and 98.1 The One on Facebook. This is your world. Your playlist, your station. 98.1, The One.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're looking into the Queen Elizabeth Hospital as it relates to pediatric cancer and the options available here on island and the skills that are available already here on island to help with treatment thereof. And so Shalana David, who's 18 years old, has been diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and she's surviving this through her collaboration, her treatment here. Shalana, good morning to you.
Good morning.
18 years old.
Yes.
How long have you been living with this cancer now?
Well, I was actually diagnosed twice. I was diagnosed from the age I was 6. I was declared cancer-free at 10. And then when I started going through puberty around 12 years old, I battled it again and I became cancer-free again when I turned 16.
Saying all of that, what goes through you when you begin to mark your life from 6 years old with a diagnosis like that called cancer?
Well, when I was diagnosed first, it came, I guess, in a unusual way. My tummy started to swell. So my mother, being my mother, she took us to our family doctor and he transferred us to the hospital. We ran some tests and we discovered that I had cancer. At the time, I wasn't too aware. I was confused. I was very confused at what was going on with my body. Why is this happening? And I started to question a lot. I was very angry when I first got diagnosed. I was very angry. I was very mad. I was mad at myself because I thought I did something to cause it. I was mad at God. I was mad at the whole world. I even refused to talk to my mom for a period of time. And then one day, I just felt this urge to pray because I would have this pastor at my church that will come over. Most days he will pray with us, and most times I would refuse. Then one day I just decided to pray with them and decided that it makes no sense to be angry about it because it's happening whether I like it or not. So I could either go through it with a smile on my face or I could be angry at the world.
But it came back.
It came back.
And it came back.
The second time, it definitely hit me harder because I was finally getting used to being normal. I was running again. I was getting used to my hair growing back. The second time, it definitely hit me harder because I understood now what I was going through. And I cried. I cried a lot because I was in my head and I was mad at God again because I was wondering why this is happening to me. I started questioning God a lot. I started questioning everything again. And I remembered what I told myself the first time, that I could either be angry or I could be joyful.
And that's what you chose instead to do. Yes. And how are you now?
I'm good. I'm in remission right now. It feels good. I'm actually training to be a nurse right now in pediatric section. So
Wow.
I'm doing the nursing assistant course right now. Today I actually have my math exam to do general nursing.
Given your drive, I know you'll do very, very well. But in terms, doctor, of treatment of her, Shalana, because 6 years old first of all, and then later on it repeated itself. What treatment options are available here in Barbados?
So Shalana had, as I mentioned, the most common type of pediatric leukemia, which is acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and then there are two different subtypes of that. Here in Barbados, we have been treating children with acute lymphoblastic leukemia for many years, as I mentioned, but most recently, through the Sick Kids Caribbean Initiative, we have forged bonds with other international organizations. So the American Society of Hematology has a consortium that we are a part of called the Children's International Consortium for Acute Leukemia. And within that consortium, we have developed a standard of care protocol that is at international standards and levels in terms of the types of medications and so on used to treat lymphoblastic leukemia in current day. That protocol has been with us for about 7 years, and so all of the children who present to us now with acute lymphoblastic leukemia are on that protocol. If we look at the outcomes for those children, if we look from January 2020 all the way up to date, there have been about 16 children that we have diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia over that time, and over 85% of those children are in remission. Many of them are actually fully completed treatment, and a few of them are still in treatment but in various stages of completion and doing well. So our outcomes there are definitely good and demonstrate that there are options for care for that type of cancer and for many other types of cancer right here at home in Barbados. You were mentioning, Pearson, that it's devastating to receive a diagnosis of cancer for your child, and I think it would be quite difficult to have to, while dealing with that degree of devastation, kind of, be scrambling and looking around for, where do I go now to get treatment? Therefore, I think, we kind of take that part of it completely away, because treatment is definitely available here. It is free of cost. Everybody knows once you're a Barbadian, you access free health care through the public system. And our relationships have allowed us access even to donations of medications to boost what we already get from the government to manage children with cancer. And then further to that, as I mentioned, there are islands within the region who do not have direct access to a pediatric oncologist, and they reach out to us all the time to refer their children and have us accept them for care. Of course, they would have to pay a contribution towards that care, but it is at a tiny fraction of what it would cost if you had to seek that care in other markets like the US and the UK. And treatment of something, for example, like acute lymphoblastic leukemia is a long time. It is at minimum 2 years. And trying to support that high level of intensive treatment for 2 years in a whole other country away from family would be very difficult. And so I think it's very advantageous that we can do it right here on the island. And that's what the Sick Kids Caribbean Initiative has ensured that we are able to do.
This is so wonderful to know that our world-class Queen Elizabeth Hospital provides the services, they have the skill sets, they have the support to manage the process when your child is diagnosed with cancer. With that diagnosis, I know it comes with a lot of emotions, but it comes with a lot of desire for practicality as well. And that practicality already exists at our Queen Elizabeth Hospital, and they've been practicing what they do now for quite a number of years as well. I hope we've been able to calm your fears, calm your hearts, calm your mind for just a moment, knowing that the services are available on island. And for those of you watching from the region as well, if you don't have those services in your area, the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Barbados is able to provide you with those required services for treatment of your children who may have been diagnosed with different varieties of cancer indeed. And so to you, Shalana, I'm so excited for your future. Today's exam is going to be a breeze. You will do very, very well. I love the fact that you want to give back in the same area that gave to you. And so you have a wonderful future ahead. Keep walking with your heart to lead the way, and you will do well. And I'm happy about your remission as well. Long may it be. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And Dr. Brown Farmer, thank you so much for the phenomenal work you and your team are doing at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital on behalf of the people of Barbados, the people of the region, and our little ones who are our future. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. Morning Barbados is taking a break here. We're coming back with the news and more in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We the best music.
Are you ready to turn it all the way up? We make you feel good. Your #1 party station. Non-stop hits and the latest trends in music, fashion, and everything lit. Hit us up on socials at 981 Barbados on IG and 98.1 The One on Facebook. This is your world, your playlist, your station. 98.1 The One.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
A look at the news now. Leaders in law enforcement and the legal fraternity are being urged to break down barriers and share intelligence to combat rising transnational crime. Attorney General Wilfred Abrams says criminals are already operating across borders while Caribbean countries remain trapped in silos. He was speaking at the opening of a regional in-person forum on joint investigative teams hosted by the RSS and the IDB here in Barbados.
Attorney General Wilfred Abrams says Barbados is now moving to establish an asset recovery unit aimed at stripping criminals of their profits. He stresses that fighting modern crime requires more than national efforts.
Crime, at the end of the day, is a business. Criminals are businessmen in the business of crime. Nobody sets up a business or continues a business in order to lose money. People do not stay in business in the face of certain and sustained loss. Barbados is in the process of setting up an asset recovery unit with just that objective in mind, to strip the profit out of crime.
Mr. Abrams warns that Caribbean countries are still failing to share critical intelligence fast enough, even as criminal networks operate seamlessly across borders.
We cannot win any war against crime without good information shared in a timely manner, whether locally, regionally, or internationally. Such are the dimensions of the problem that we face. Let us face it frontally. Sharing does not come naturally to a lot of us. Information gives us an advantage. And in many instances, we carefully shepherd and hold to our chest information that may help somebody else.
Rear Admiral Errington Sherlin, Executive Director of the Regional Security System, says the Caribbean is facing increasingly sophisticated organized crime networks linked to the international illicit economy.
This region, with all of its promise of sustainable socio-economic growth, is also a playground for the intersperse of transnational organized crime, essentially a polycriminal environment, and this affects all our populations. Rising crime, dizzying increases in shooting incidents across our communities, as well as the subsequent capacity of our emerging health care facilities to deal with these challenges, increases in offenses for drug-related crime and the reported links between gangs and the commission of incidents, causes bodily harm or intention to cause bodily harm, all combine to threaten the progress made by criminal justice and other authorities.
The two-day forum is examining legal and operational frameworks needed to strengthen regional cooperation in financial investigations and asset recovery across the Caribbean. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
There has been the signing of the Barbados Declaration as the Barbados Employers Confederation marks 70 years of shaping labor policy, influencing employment legislation and driving private sector advocacy across this island. Executive Director Sheena Mears-Granville says the significance of the Barbados Declaration is a true reflection of the organization's identity and core values. Trevor Thorpe reports.
Executive Director Sheena Mears-Granville says the declaration is a statement of intent and sets out a series of recognitions and a formal acknowledgement of the BEC's role in shaping Barbados' employment legislation. She said 70 years is a long time, but is not a reason to slow down.
We commit to advocating for an environment in which Barbadian enterprises can genuinely grow, not survive, but actually grow. There's a difference, and we definitely, as Barbados, deserves an environment where businesses can grow. We commit to the future of work conversation, not as observers, but as active participants. Digitalization, AI, changing employment structures, skill mismatches, these are not abstract things. They're the daily reality of our members. And the BEC will ensure that the employer voice in those conversations is grounded in evidence, shaped by experience, and we will do that without apology.
Minister of Labour and the Third Sector Colin Jordan congratulated the BEC for the document and suggested that all employers should join the body. He says government is committed to the organisation.
We are of the view that most good workers and good worker organizations and most good employers and employer organizations are also of the view that those two must work together. It is our collective responsibility, particularly at this juncture when you celebrate 70, to make sure that not just our members are of that view, but that employers generally, the country generally, becomes aware of the position that we have to have enterprises that are profitable. So profit is not a bad word. Profitable enterprises, sustainable enterprises mean that you can employ. And we also have to make sure that those you employ are beneficiaries of decent work.
BEC President Gaylan King says the document is a reflection of the 70 years and is also a celebration.
Today is therefore not simply a celebration of longevity. It is a moment of reflection, recommitment, and renewal. Over the past 7 decades, Barbados has experienced profound social and economic transformation. Through periods of growth and challenge alike, the BEC has remained steadfast in its role, working along successive governments, trade unions, civil society, and regional and international partners to help shape a modern and resilient Barbados.
The Barbados Employers Confederation was founded in 1956 and is a membership-based private sector support organisation that represents its members on an array of issues. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Science and business in Barbados have a promising future. The facilitators were impressed with the quality and expertise demonstrated by the participants of the FSAT 2002 Science Meets Business initiative organized by the Faculty of Science and Technology of the Cayville campus. Dean of the faculty, Dr. Janice Badnock, said the success of the initiative was a result of strong partnerships.
But one of the strengths of this particular event was how they worked through raising funds for the event. So they really strategized in terms of bringing on sponsors. They strategized in actually having a bake sale on the campus in order to raise funds. And they even went so far as engaging friends and family. So there's a high degree of pride that I have with how they have taken their idea and brought it to fruition. In addition, just the organization of the event, the games that they plan to participate in, the food, the drinks, just the general engagement in terms of decor, those are the things that I am most proud of.
Planning coordinator Kendra Boyno said that working in groups provided support for each other since there were many elements to attend to and manage.
Along with doing the sponsor letters, reaching out to the companies, and then I would have also talked to, did a bit of logistics. So we started out security, we booked the tables and everything, and we just decided to transform this venue into something that would be nice for a nice mixer and science games night for us in the Faculty of Science and Technology.
That's a look at news until now. We'll have more news coming up at noon right here on TV8. Morning Barbados is back in a minute.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
This is where Barbadian football lives. Every Monday from 8:03 p.m., step onto the touchline. A 30-minute show featuring the BFA Premier League. Join Anmar Goodrich Boyce and Damien Best as they review the action, the goals, the grit, the glory, and the stories shaping the league. From kickoff to the final whistle, this is your front row seat to Monday Night Football. Touchline, bringing you closer to the BFA Premier League. See you on the Touchline, live on TV8.
Touchline, sponsored by the Sani.
13 minutes now after 7 o'clock as we turn our attention to ongoing recognition of women in Barbados and across the region. As a matter of fact, they've so designed it to be Female Founders Month. And we're talking this morning to Janet Bryn, who is the founder and chief executive officer of Caribbean Posh. Good morning to you, Miss Bryn.
Good morning.
Good morning, Barbados. Good to have you. Talk to me a little bit about why you've taken focus of this month to recognize female founders.
Well, you know, I felt that it was important for us as Caribbean women to just celebrate the brilliance that we are. So this month and every month, really, we're celebrating. And definitely in June, later in next month, I should say, in June, we'll be doing our Caribbean Posh weekend event that includes our recognition event, our Caribbean Posh Icon Women Awards. So it goes beyond this month.
Indeed it does. And so because you're recognizing the icon, the Caribbean Posh icon, how can people help you determine who that icon is?
Yeah, so I'm asking the ladies and men in Barbados to make sure you nominate your queens. There are obviously a number of Caribbean women, definitely in Barbados, doing amazing things, and they deserve to be recognized. Oftentimes, women are doing things in quiet, and our stories deserve to be told.
Oftentimes, too, people tend to think it's the businesswoman or the politician, the female politician, who are the movers, shakers, the icons, as you see it. But you're looking for, what I say, dare to say, average people involved in average activity.
Yeah, very diverse. We try to be intentionally diverse with the women we wish to celebrate. So from your more influential to your everyday woman who's emerging in her career. The platform has a diverse number of categories, from business to sports to founders to beauty, makeup, you name it. Whatever your genre is, we're inviting you to be celebrated and to be seen and for your story to be heard.
This is not the first time you're doing this. How many years have you been now taking time to shine the spotlight on our female founders?
Right. So Caribbean Posh as a platform has been going on for quite some time. This is something I came up with in grad school. And then fast forward to 2016, we started the actual event. It was really aimed about bringing Caribbean Posh as a platform to life. And every year I'm trying to figure out how to do things better. I get with my team, what can we do to make sure that we're really connecting and celebrating and recognizing the beautiful and innovative things happening across the region and intentionally trying to bring us together. So 3 years ago, we introduced the Caribbean Posh Icon Women Awards, and it kind of took off like wildfire. It was just great to see women from across the region just submitting their nominations, being intentional about recognizing each other, even though they didn't know each other personally, but it was just fun to see, what so-and-so was doing in Barbados and so-and-so in Antigua or Jamaica or here in BVI where I'm based. And those kind of opportunities just led to a unique way for us to collaborate and just build relationships across the region. So, yeah.
And having said all of that, yet we still hear the complaint by women that women are not seen for who they are or valued for what they do. So are you climbing the mountain? Are you able to get over the mountaintop?
I think, in the world we live in, I guess women empowerment is something we always have to be continuously working on. The world is what the world is. But the more that we can, just take the time and be intentional about connecting with each other, the better. So I would say we're climbing. We're definitely climbing. It's great to see when women come together and form meaningful relationships. I've already seen, especially I'll give you a quick example from last year. We had a young lady, Haitian, but based in Los Angeles, was able to connect with another young lady in St. Lucia, and they found a creative way to collaborate. Julie's her name, Haitian, based in Los Angeles. She's an Emmy Award-winning makeup artist doing makeup for a number of celebrities. And she connected with Keithlyn Arufa over in St. Lucia, who's doing Helen's Daughters, Women in Farming. And they came together and did an event where Julie was teaching female farmers, the importance of, keeping their skin, face, everything looking beautiful. So it was a fun activity, and that quick collaboration came together through them meeting at the event. So that's a quick example of how we're building meaningful relationships and fun and creative collaborations that at the end of the day, help to keep us united.
I smile because you went exactly where I wanted to go next. Into what are the real true benefits of the coming together under the Posh Icon brand, and how you're able then to collaborate and to leverage it for meaningful outcomes. And let's talk a little bit about in the icon category, do you have designation based on age? Because there's some phenomenal young women who are already have voice, have a platform, and they're doing wonderful things as well. Is it broken in that kind of way down, broken down that way?
We actually do have an award that recognizes women under 30. So I certainly agree there are a number of women in the region who are under 30, young women who are just doing amazing things, and we certainly want to include them and celebrate them as well. So you could certainly visit our website to see the breakdown of the categories, and make sure you nominate her.
Indeed so. So that website of which you speak, what is that? We're looking at it on our screen. What's the address to this?
Yes, www.caribbeanposh.com/WKD, and you just simply click on the Caribbean Posh Icon Women Awards. You could view the categories. There's about 17 categories, from entrepreneurial icon, empowerment icon, community, cultural icon. There's a sports icon, and like I said earlier, the under 30. Wow. So yeah, we're trying to make it diverse, and I think next year we'll probably add some more categories because we're doing some amazing things.
As we say, there are a ton of categories for which one can nominate someone. And so what's the deadline? What's the deadline for nomination?
Right. So the current deadline is May 22nd. So I do certainly invite you to log on before then, get your nominations in so that we can, get our next series of the initiative going, where we'll be publicizing all the nominees and giving people a chance to vote. I do want to let people know, some people get hung up in the voting, but the voting just helps to build visibility and awareness. But we really get down to the nitty gritty, and we do read all the information that you provide us. And we want to make sure that you're not just, the winner at the end of the day is not selected solely on popularity, but their true impact that they're making in their relative genre of work.
Indeed. And so once all of this is done and you've identified your various icons in their respective categories, what's next for Caribbean Posh?
Right. So we definitely invite you to join us in BVI for the celebration. Our host this year is actually from Barbados, the lovely Megan Michael. So we're excited to have her, and I'm sure she would love some Bajan queens to be joining her on that direct flight to BVI to come and celebrate with us. So yeah, my vision really is for Caribbean Posh to continue growing as a global platform that really creates real opportunities for Caribbean women to, build that visibility, connection, that mentorship, that economic empowerment. And I really hope that the next generation of Caribbean women leaders will continue to think boldly, collaborate fearlessly, and understand that their voices and ideas belong on the global stage. So in addition to the awards, we'll be doing our Power Brunch. We have a series of panel discussions. We have our keynote speaker, who this year will be the Prime Minister of Anguilla. So you don't want to miss that. We also end off the weekend with a intentionally, beautifully relaxed atmosphere. We have our Pink Sunday sunset sail. So we get to really enjoy each other, build meaningful relationships, and just have a good time while learning and growing together. So as I said earlier, from your more affluent to your mid-level to your emerging, a diverse group of women coming together in a safe space to share ideas, celebrate each other, and build meaningful relationships.
I want you from where you sit. You sit almost on the edge of the net. You see everything. It's all in there. And so while you make decisions based on votes, at the same time, you have a global view, so to speak, of women and their contribution in the Caribbean, and then women of the Caribbean and their contribution to the world. Could you give me what you see and what excites you for the future?
I'm excited by, one of the things I enjoy when I get all the nominations in, or even when we're doing our research to, determine who our honorees are, because we do select at least 4 honorees. Like we've had the likes of Yvette Knowles-Shore, who's actually on our advisory panel, Naomi Cohen. For people who don't know, Yvette Knowles-Shore is Grenadian. She's Beyonce's publicist. Naomi Cohen, reggae artist from Jamaica. So we've had a number of women participate, and it's just beautiful to see the amazing level of work that they do. Like just using Yvette as an example, who would have thought that a little girl from Grenada would grow up one day to be the publicist of one of the most influential entertainers in the world right now. And it doesn't start or end with Beyonce. She's behind a number of major influential persons. And, we have an honoree this year, actually from Barbados. You might know her. And her name escapes me right now, but she's the CEO of Rum and Sargasm.
Yes.
She's doing innovative things in Barbados, taking sargasm and making use of it. And so imagine if we just take things like that and elevate them, amplify them, and really say to the region, look at what this person is doing in Barbados, for example, or Antigua, and how can we leverage that? How can we come together as a region and really elevate our people? And, when you think long term, what we can do with that, the power in those type of innovations happening in the region, if we just lean into each other and elevate each other, it contributes to reducing our need for constant imports and those type of things. It just boosts the region economically when we really lean into our strengths and our innovation and our talents much more than we perhaps do at this time.
That is so well said. Janet Bryn, Chief Executive Officer and founder of Caribbean Posh. We want to encourage all of our viewers, whether you're here in Barbados or across the diaspora, to go online right now to CaribbeanPosh.com.
Yes, CaribbeanPosh.com. Yes, CaribbeanPosh.com/WKD.
Yes.
That's the event page. So I'm excited. Can you tell I'm excited?
We can see your excitement, indeed. We really want to commend you and your organization for shining the light, really, on our female folk of the region who are doing tremendous things. I kept thinking on Mother's Day of the many things that mothers juggle. Mothers juggle so much. Every single day, a mother has to wake up to try to figure out, what do I feed my family today? Us men, we don't. So she determines the menu. At the same time, she has to balance, what does my child need? What do I need? Because I also have things to do for herself. She does all of that seamlessly, and she still has to go out there and make a contribution to the world. And so it's a way for us to recognize those women who are so selfless to our lived reality, and to recognize them and stand them up as icons, indeed, to how we move forward as a people. And so when you go to CaribbeanPosh.com, WKD, and you vote, you are voting, you're telling the story. You're telling the story as you make the nomination of that woman who has been phenomenal in all areas of endeavor, indeed. That's the website to which you go. That's it. Just put them on the global stage for the power and the possibility of what they have to give to the Caribbean as we celebrate them this Female Founders Month, indeed. So, Ms. Bryn, thank you for joining us. I wish you well and continue strongly supporting and championing the women across the region.
Yes, thank you so much. And
You're
good
welcome.
morning, Barbados.
Good morning to you, indeed. Thank you so much, indeed.
Right.
And so we'll take a break here, folks. We're coming back with more in a minute.
This is where Barbadian football lives. Every Monday from 8:03 p.m., step onto the touchline. A 30-minute show featuring the BFA Premier League. Join Anmar Goodrich-Boyce and Damian Best as they review the action, the goals, the grit, the glory, and the stories shaping the league. From kickoff to the final whistle, this is your front row seat to Monday Night Football. Touchline, bringing you closer to the BFA Premier League. See you on the Touchline, live on TV8.
Touchline, sponsored by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after. And Powerade. Pause is power.
Preserve your personal priceless memories. Here at CBC, we transfer VHS, DVDs, Beta, U-matic, and DV-Cam tapes to modern digital formats. Safely, quickly, and affordably. Call CBC on 467-5437 to get started. In just 2 weeks, your memories will be ready to relive and share again.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 7:30 in Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean on this, the International Day of Plant Health. We spoke of people health earlier on. We're looking at plant health today. And so we have from the Plant Quarantine Unit of the Ministry of Agriculture in Clyde Ian Griffith. He's the officer in charge, and he's brought along with him Edwina Curtin-Price, who's a plant quarantine inspector, all members of the Ministry of Agriculture on Barbados. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you. I'll start with you, Ian. Talk to me a little bit about the Plant Quarantine Office. What is it designed to do?
Well, the Plant Quarantine Office design, we do regulatory and inspection services as well as consultative services. When it's a regulatory, we issue permits and certificates. Permits to allow people to import plants. We give them conditions. We issue certificates whereby somebody's exporting. So what we will do, we will follow the conditions of the country of destination, and we will issue a certificate saying that these plants have been inspected and are free of pests. Consultative now is if we detect pests.
Yes.
We now have to take measures now to ensure that we eradicate those pests before we release the goods into Barbados. So either we fumigate and try and kill the pests, or we might have to actually destroy the item that was imported.
There's some people who think y'all are so unfair. That's a beautiful little thing that I picked up from over there in the States. I think would go so well. Oh my God, and you tell me I can't.
Yes.
And there's a reason for that.
There's a reason for that. That beautiful little thing that you have might have on pests or might have a disease in it that you cannot see. So when you bring that into the country and you plant it, you will see, okay, that plant dies. Why is that dying? Then you realize another plant in your garden dies, another plant dies, and then your neighbor's plants die, and then it keeps on spreading like that. So that's one of the reasons why we ask persons not to bring in anything, any plants, any seeds, any wood, unless you check with us, so we can certify that it's okay to bring in.
And we don't often see that it's us that started the problem. We just say, well, your plant dying too. Good for you, girl. But you know, and then you don't think for a minute, it started with me. I am case X. And so this is what you pick up, Edwina, often when you at the ports of entry. Is that where you operate from, the ports of entry?
Yes, we do.
What do you see generally happening?
What I see, there are persons who try to not follow the guidelines, and they try to sneak things in. It's just a piece of plant, it's just a herb, it's just a flower, and there we have to then explain to them, for you it's just that, but here there's an insect on it, there is a pest, there is some sort of sign of disease, and this could be detrimental to the country. So then we either have to confiscate it from you, that's the part that becomes the enemy, and we have to either let you know there are import permits, we give you permission, you just come in, you give us the information what you want to bring in, we will then let you know if we do a risk analysis on certain plants, certain items. Yes, this can come, no, that can't come. And from there we go on. We give you the protocol, we give you the import permit, you follow that, you contact the agencies in the other country that you're going to and let them then do a phytosanitary certificate, which then will state this pest is not on here, or this item is free from pests. We've checked it, it's fumigated, it has certain protocols that we've met that you required, and we go from there.
Okay, two things. One, to the one who goes the legal route. I want to start with the illegal route for a second. It's in the suitcase. How do you know that this should not come in?
Well, thanks to the relationship we have with Customs and Excise. They're the ones, when they're doing their check, they're the ones who will notify us, or you can go further back where you do the checklist when you're coming in, what you have.
And we did not take that line.
Some doesn't do that. Exactly. So then Customs become our eyes. So then Customs would then send you over with your items or your luggage, and they will let us know up front, this person has something that you need to check. So from there we ask you, and then we ask you to show us, and then we take it, we check it.
Okay.
If it's something that can come in, we explain to you the reasons why you should go the correct way, and we let you know next time the import permit is still free. So come in, get it, and you're free to have an inspection done and all clear when you come in. If you go along with the I didn't know story, then we usually have a breach letter where you yourself acknowledge that you've broken the Plant Quarantine Act, and then you would know the detrimental part of it that you have just caused in this country.
Yeah.
And it's confiscated.
So you use a microscope or anything to look for pests? What do you do?
There's some that you can physically see the damage, there's some that you can physically see it, and then there's some that has signs. Then we will take it and we will take your information, we'll pass it on to entomology. That's the department that does the nitty-gritty microscope, all of that.
I'm so fascinated by this, that's why I'm asking these questions. And then the legal way now, you said it's free to get a license.
It is. Yes, it's free to get an import permit.
So I am overseas, again, I'm in the States, see this lovely flower I know will do well in my garden. What should I do before I arrive in Barbados?
Okay, before you come in, there's a website, so you can email us and you can request the information. We would then send you the form online where you can actually fill it out and return it to us, send it back to us. If you have some person here that you're coming to a family, they can come and collect it on your behalf and meet you at the airport. You can then let Customs know you have this form, this import permit, or this, that's the certificate after we've given you the go-ahead. So then they would pass it on to us, and when you come in, you identify yourself, and we go from there.
Okay.
We do the checklist. So it can be reasonable.
That's fair. I can't go wrong with that. But Ian, we've been, because at times we've been either short-circuiting the system or the system short-circuits us, we find ourselves now with some really invasive pests. Let's talk about what you see from the unit that really has decimated quite a number of our food crops.
Yes. Well, I can tell you that we have been, the Plant Quarantine Unit, we have been pretty successful in keeping out the major pests. And we want to keep it that way. There are pests that affect every major crop that we have in Barbados. Plant quarantine is here not only to keep status quo in terms of not allowing any other pests to come in, but also to keep our potential there, whereby if we need to export a particular item, we can scale it and export. So if it's a situation whereby pests are coming in and we can't control them, that causes the issue. Just imagine a country whereby there are no laws, there's no one at the border checking for pests coming in, and anybody can bring anything. In a matter of time, that country will not be able to produce food properly. You'll not be able to feed your citizens. You'll not be able to export and earn money. And that's where the Plant Quarantine Unit is here. We're here to stop that.
We've had attacks on our pawpaw, our sweet potato, bananas, coconuts in some instances. So let's talk about that for a second, because I don't think sometimes we bring it down to that level. We think, oh, y'all talk about pests, y'all talk about pests, that's your job. But then we see the scarcity of access to certain food crops and the like. Let's walk that through with me.
Yeah, as I said before, when it comes to plant quarantine, we've been pretty successful in keeping the major pests out. Right now, there's a disease in the Caribbean. It's coming from the north. It came from basically I would say from America's side. It's coming through the Caribbean, and then we just recently realized that it's in one of our neighboring countries. It's not here yet. It affects coconuts, it actually destroys the coconut tree. Right? We have been preparing for this over the past couple of years. We've been importing species that are tolerant to disease, but not resistant. They're tolerant. So this is what I'm talking about here, which is the little yellowing in coconuts. That is in,
go ahead.
That is in the Caribbean.
Right.
And we don't want that here. That has socio-economic
you got that right.
ramifications for Barbados. Your coconut water that you accustomed getting daily on, okay, all of that would affect.
This is in the Caribbean.
This is in the Caribbean.
And this can come to Barbados.
It can come to Barbados.
But your officers are prepared with all the surveillance expertise that you have.
Yes, because what we do is that we do not allow in any palms, because it's not only coconuts, it's palms.
So whether it's decorative or otherwise?
Decorative or otherwise. So it affects a whole range of palms. Yeah. And coconut is in that family.
So don't even apply for a certificate. We're not breeding palms at the moment.
No, we allow seeds, but not the plant.
Oh boy.
You're not taking any chances.
I can't have that chance with my coconuts. No. Can't have that chance with some folks. Don't take those risks with your palms, whether they're decorative or food. Don't take those chances with your palm. There's some other pieces that you want to share with us as well.
Yes, there are other pests that affect coconuts. One is the palm weevils, right? We have those in the Caribbean also. They're not in Barbados. They're very, very close. So that's one of the reasons we tell persons not to import anything that do with coconuts. We have
not even an ornament.
No.
All right.
No.
I got you.
Normally when the tourists are coming off the vessel with the coconut hats, we normally tell them we are either going to hold this or you're going to take it back.
Right back.
Yeah, we don't allow it into Barbados.
Okay.
Yeah. There are pests that affect bananas. Right now in the Caribbean, Barbados is the only country, not only country, it's one of the few countries that is free of black sigatoka, right? And that's a disease that affects bananas. There's a large banana plantation in St. Joseph. So we're trying to make our way now to produce bananas. So to have that disease affecting bananas, we cannot have that here in Barbados
at all. No. At all. So that's on your screen, folks at home watching. That's what we were just talking about.
Right. And then there's sweet potatoes, our main crop. Right.
Mine on a Saturday.
Yes.
Yours to right, Edwina?
The world's worst pest of sweet potatoes is actually in the Caribbean. It's actually worldwide. We do not allow in any importation of sweet potato. So when persons travel, I can say this now, when you travel and you go to your family member, you have a nice dinner, you say, oh, I have sweet potatoes in my backyard. I can give you one to bring home and you can plant it. Say no, because you have to protect sweet potatoes in Barbados. Okay? We are basically self-sufficient to some degree. Imagine going from that now to having to import sweet potatoes, to eat. So we're trying to prevent that.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. And then there are fruit flies. We are very, very careful. I know you, if you have a mango tree, you would love to go on your mango tree when the mangoes are ripe and pick and eat. If fruit flies were in Barbados, you will not have that opportunity. So we control the entry of fruits into Barbados to ensure that fruit flies are not entering with that fruit. So we only allow fruit flies to come from certain fruits to come from certain countries and so on under certain conditions.
You would think a fly would just die in the trip.
No, it actually lives inside the fruit.
In the fruit?
In the fruit itself. Right. In the fruit itself.
Okay. You're teaching all of us this morning, folks, to be very, very careful. This is so serious. We're talking about plant health today.
Yeah. And then the next one now is the capra beetle. As far as we know, it's not in the region, but it's in the Asia and it's not in the market either. It's in Asia and the Asian countries basically,
right.
Africa and so on, the African countries. And that pest not only can affect, it goes after stored product, it's a stored product pest.
Oh boy.
So therefore your rice in your cupboard, your peas and so on, will go after your peas. But on the bigger scale now, if you have a manufacturing plant that has corn in storage to make like corn kernels, okay, nuts, and so on, it will go after those things too. So this particular pest has the ability to affect the manufacturing sector in Barbados.
This is so serious. This is really, really serious. And I know oftentimes we sit in our ignorance because we don't quite know. We don't see what you see. And we assume, again, as I started, y'all are being unfair to me. But now we understand better why it is that you have these restrictions in place and you ask us to be prudent and follow the guidelines. Because if we let one in, I mean, just one little fly come in that mango, we are lick up, as we say in Barbados indeed. And so we want you to be respectful of the plant quarantine officers, respectful of the inspectors at the different ports of entry, and understand that they're just doing their job to protect us and our industries and our manufacturers and life in Barbados indeed. It is that serious. And I know that if you are questioning, well, what then, Pearson, should I do? You call the Ministry of Agriculture, you call the plant quarantine office, and you ask some questions, educate yourself, get to understand more your actions and how your actions can actually have a devastating effect on who we are. If you're overseas at the moment and you're thinking, I'm going to bring home a cutting, correct. Check with the Ministry of Agriculture first at the plant quarantine office and find out more about that, how to get it in, get the license to bring it in as well, and don't take chances. Do not take chances. It is that serious. And that's why today's Plant Health Day. We want you to really focus in. I got to wrap up now. That's why.
Okay, no problem. That's fine. That's fine.
But you know, there's much more that you can learn. And can we go to the website and to see a little bit more about these things?
You might see on the website, but it's also the easiest thing to call into our office. Any questions that you
What's
ask.
the number to call?
The number is 535-6600.
535-6600.
Yes.
535-6600. Call and ask. If you see a pest, don't ignore the pest. Call and inquire, what should I do now? I mean, like right now, so we can arrest this problem as soon as possible. We all have we have a role to play in all of this. We all have a role to play. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you very much.
Edwina.
You're welcome.
I've learned so much from you guys this morning. Thank you for the education. I think all of our viewers feel the very same way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
Morning Barbados is right back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Preserve your personal priceless memories. Here at CBC, we transfer VHS, DVDs, Beta, U-matic, and DV cam tapes to modern digital formats. Safely, quickly, and affordably. Call CBC on 467-5437 to get started. In just 2 weeks, your memories will be ready to relive and share again.
Are you ready to turn it all the way up? We make you feel good. Your #1 party station. Non-stop hits and the latest trends in music, fashion, and everything lit. Hit us up on socials at 981 Barbados on IG and 98.1 The One on Facebook. This is your world, your playlist, your station. 98.1 The One.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's
Jump.
like that beat. I like that beat. At the top of the show, I told you about the medicine, the man, and his music. 1359 Beats is his artist name as a producer. But his name is Dr. Sean Russell. Would you believe it? Dr. Russell, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to call you 1359 Beats from here on, okay?
That's fine.
That's fine with you, indeed. And so, wow, that's my first word to you. Wow. What is it that got you into what you're doing in terms of a producer?
I think it's a creative force, a creative energy. And I think for creative people, it has to come out. So I've always liked music. I've always wanted to do music. And over the years, it just kept creeping out. And it came to fore when the other creative part, writing, met with film, and I did The Kite Flyer. And film needs sound, it needs music, it needs tension, and being a kind of one-man army for the film, I then did the music and I scored it. And so that's where it started. That was the genesis of it.
Did you study music?
I did music lessons as a little boy, played the piano and so on. So I did a couple of grades, but formally study it, no.
So this is a passion that you have.
Oh, yeah.
And it's that passion that guides your productions as you go.
Yeah, definitely.
And so here you are, that production for the Kite Flyer rose to number 71, I think it is, on the UK charts.
Well, the song, my debut vocal song, break my break my guard down.
Right.
That was 71 in the UK charts with the iTunes.
That is a phenomenal performance.
Yeah.
Right, because I mean you're now challenged by all the world.
Yeah.
Literally on iTunes, and your song rising to number 71.
Yeah.
What did that mean to you?
Oh, that was wonderful. That was a process basically of just seeing where it would compare. That was my first vocal song. The other songs were instrumental. I collaborated with a professional singer from overseas, and the product I thought was really good. And I promoted it through the radio stations and online and so on. So you wanted to just see, well, how far would it bounce? And that's where it bounced.
It bounced well. There's a market for it indeed. And so 1359 locates you right here, where we are.
Exactly.
And that was deliberate, no doubt.
Exactly.
Because?
Because it's a location for the beautiful beach.
I like that. Not beach, for the beautiful beats. And that's the whole point here.
Exactly.
And so you've worked on this, so you've designed, it's like electronic music, I'm hearing, essentially.
Yeah.
How would you describe it, though?
Sorry, I go across the genres. So the EDM tends to be very popular. It catches people's attention. But my brand really is grown folks music. Music for people in our kind of age group. And the push for that really is, I think people of our generation don't know where to find that music anymore. And I think that music, no disrespect to the music, no, I just think that music from those times is awesome. It's musical. And so I wanted to hear the music. I've been fortunate enough to be able to produce it. And, you know, over the time, people say, well, Doc, this is nice. You should share it. You should get it out. And I did this stuff, the YouTube and Spotify and so on. And finally, I have a place where I think people could find it more easily on Patreon. So it's easy to find if you go to my website, www.1359beats.biz. Everything is there. But it's a nice collection because you get all the genres there. So you could kind of just, you know, cherry pick what you like.
And we're on the website now. If you're watching, we're on the website. Take a look. This is where you're going. 1359beats.biz, B-I-Z. And while there, you can browse the library. The music library is right there indeed. But you know what? You've done a number of albums.
Correct.
And what's been the general response to these albums?
Well, there's more of a response to the singles than the albums. The albums, I guess, as a new artist, one wants to know who you are, and grown folks music is a brand I've coined, so to speak. And so the bigger interest has been in the singles like Break My Guard Down, like Brand New, like Club Jam, and so on. So there's been more of an interest in that than the albums. But there's Genesis, which is tied to the Kite Flyer, the film, sequel, which is the second one, and Tried, obviously, the third, and then Quattro coming soon, the next couple of months.
Coming soon in the next few months. You know, but I would caution folks, listen, albums work. Here we were having this conversation upstairs yesterday, and we were talking about how sometimes we select one song from an album, but if we go through the rest of the album, you discover so much more.
Yeah.
And so albums for me are the buy because you can experience so much more than just a single song. So
Yeah.
while you see the singles and you want to love the single, fine. Get the collection in the album. That's what makes a meaningful difference. And you will discover that there's another song or a third song that really captures your attention. So don't limit your experience with 1359 beats to a single song. Experience all of the songs, then you make your determination as you go from there. I think that's important.
Yeah, I agree. And the beauty with the site is you can click and sample all the songs, so you can kind of go through the album and see what you like.
Yep. Duh. So take the leap, go online, 1359beats.biz, or you can experience it on Patreon, Patreon.
Yeah,
online.
once you go to the site, it's on the top of the site, click on Patreon and that'll take you right to all of the content there.
Look at your life now. Here it is, the medical doctor, the music producer, and the man. Now, talk to me about your desire for which one do you think will ultimately win, or is it the balance of all?
Well, I think we're all different parts, all of us. Medicine has been my life, and I think that will continue to be my life because I have a passion for that as well, and in my relationship with my patients and so on. Music is a separate energy, and being able to create and share is a wonderful experience. And I dare say the beauty of it is when somebody else enjoys it, and I just see that the musical part will continue to grow as more content comes out and more people come on board with the music that I have.
I think a patient of yours watching it would say, "Whoa, doc, you do that? Did not know that part of you."
Yeah.
Or do all of your patients know this part of you?
It's a new thing. I've been beginning to share because within the practice is a practice. You're taking care of people, but if you have a little extra time, then you start to share. And I think the ability to have a place where people can find the music, because what happens is, I like this song. Where can you get it? And it's in the old days, you go by the record shop, or you hear it on the radio. Now it's YouTube, it's Spotify, it's Apple Music, it's all over the place. So it's that part, becomes a little challenging for people to continue to follow. But as I said, having it in one space, so whoever likes it can find it, I think has been helpful.
1359beats.biz is that one place you can go to find it, and that it you will discover as you explore the albums are available. Quattro is the fourth that will come soon, and in that soon, what can we expect on that album?
Well,
more of the grown folk music,
more grown folks music, yes, across the genres. So you're gonna get some kind of EDM, some kind of R&B, some kind of hip hop. There's a common thread. The music tends to be fairly groovy, melodious, and retro to a certain extent. So yeah, and a little Caribbean twang in there as well.
A little Caribbean twang in there as well.
Yeah.
And so here it is now. We have a new beat, folks, available to all of us indeed. So Dr. Sean Russell, 1359 Beats is the title that he wants to be known by in his music career. And so he's available indeed for all of you to purchase. Go to his website, indeed, on Patreon as well, to see all that he has to offer. Moving to I know you've done the Kite Flyer. Are you interested in scoring for any other productions?
The scoring for the Kite Flyer was quite an experience, because in scoring with film, you want to set the mood. Tension, a funny feeling, an airy feeling, action, anxiety, party. So, I mean, I'd love to do that. I mean, that's absolutely fun.
And I'm glad that you're saying that, because I know locally there's so many other producers who are doing not music, but film.
Yeah.
And I'm saying you don't have to go and get a score from somewhere else. This man is available, 1359 Beats. He's available. So just give him a call. How can we reach you? It's on the website.
The easiest thing with that venture is 1359beats@gmail.com.
1359beats@gmail.com is a way to reach out to 1359 Beats, the producer, and he will score your production for you. Scoring is important. I think oftentimes we underestimate the value of the music bed in music and how the music adds value and riveting moments to the production of film production. And so for those of you into film, I think it's important you look at the who scores for you. This is one option available to you indeed. And so here we are now. Medicine and music standing shoulder to shoulder literally, because they both demand his passion and his attention. And as I asked whether his patients, no, your patient recommended you to you, one of your patients.
Yes.
It is so interesting. And I know that that's perhaps a part of your bedside manner, but nevertheless, it is that people are seeing you and seeing your contribution, and they're excited to share your contribution with the rest of the world, because what's good gets value and it's shared easily.
Exactly.
And so we're happy to see you this morning, man, to meet this man known as 1359 Beats, and he's simply Dr. Sean Russell. So for those of you who now know, you now know, go to the website 1359beats.biz, and once you're there, you just explore all of his offerings, all of his creativity, all of his passions. Enjoy the music, purchase the music, or you can go to the other site, Patreon, Patreon, and we put in 1359 Beats and we'll find you there.
You'll find me there, yeah.
Simple Simon met the Pieman. We met him today. This man is producing wonderful, wonderful music from Barbados. Dr. Sean Russell, thank you.
Thank you. One final plug.
Sure.
Mentioning the Kite Flare, I'd promised to re-release it so the other generation can have a look at it. It's 19 years old now. So I'm re-releasing it as a micro series, so little snippets. If you hit Patreon, the first episode is there, and you'll be getting an episode every week.
Whoa, every week. Be patient, that's the schedule.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Dr. Russell.
Thank you so much
You're
for
very
having me.
welcome indeed. You're welcome. Wow. Again, as I started, wow is the word I end with. And so speaking of ending, that's it for today. My little crew joins me in saying to all of you, have a terrific today. Be the will of the Lord. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.